Welcome to InfoGamer, my name's Mark, and today I want to show you how to do a background image from a main menu screen on Plants vs. Zombies Heroes. Here's the example. Alright, as you can see, the icons move from the top right to the bottom left, and there is no seams or breaks in the animation. It's really nice and looks professional. So for today we're going to show you how to make it in Photoshop, then we're going to animate it in Unity, and third, we are going to try and put it on our phone. So that is a lot to cover in this video. I hope you guys follow along so you can learn all of the steps we're going to go over today and be able to use this in your own video game if you want. Alright, so I have Photoshop open, and if you don't have Photoshop, you can use another art program that has Photoshop capabilities. But Photoshop is $10 a month. I recommend using it. I tried using GIMP and it was pretty close to Photoshop, but there were a bunch of things I really didn't like, and so I'm kind of a Photoshop snob. But here we go. Here's the canvas size, so you guys can get about the same canvas size. I'm gonna pull it up in pixels, so it's 4096 on the width and height. And then we go to View and Add New Guides. So let's do a new guide layout. And 8 columns and 14 rows is probably going to be good enough for what we are going to be doing today. Alright, I have the icons I want to use now. If you want to take some time to make your icons that you're going to put on the background image, go ahead and do that now. But I have the InfoGamer icons that we use, and I'm going to actually throw in a black square really quick so we can see where these white icons are going to be placed. Okay, the first one I'm probably going to place a little bit off center in the first square. And you guys can really, what the main step is here is to make sure the entire pattern is the exact same. So when we, so say I'm going to duplicate this one real quick. Duplicate layer, hit OK. When I drag it down here, I want it to be in the exact same spot as this top one is. So it's right up on that edge like this other one is. And so when I do this, when I do the pong paddles, I'm going to want them to be in the exact same spot over here so that when we go to animate it, there won't be any jumps or breaks in the animation. Alright, so I'm actually going to remove this one really quick. And then I'm going to place this pong paddle in a little bit better place. So it looks like it's more in the center of the InfoGamer word. Okay, then all we have to do is merge these layers. Hit duplicate layer. Hit OK. And I'm right clicking in there. And then as soon as you So it looks like we are close to lining up, and there we go. You saw the lines that showed that it snapped together. Okay, to make this go by faster, you can just keep merging the layers and then duplicating them. Duplicate layer, hit OK, and then you can drag over an entire layer like that. Okay, do you guys get that step? Now, if we duplicate and merge one more time, we can do the entire row. So merge layers, then duplicate layer, and then we're going to have this one stagger off just a little bit. Again, you want to make sure to get InfoGamer right in that corner or the icon that you are using for your own background. I'm going to keep merging and duplicating these layers until I have this entire square filled in. So go ahead and do that now. I'm gonna just speed up the video and show you the result. Okay, I have finished with the entire row. I'm actually going to merge all of these layers together except for the black one because I'm going to delete that layer. I just want it to be a PNG. And then I'm also going to drag this layer up. I'm going to Control Z so I can keep that black layer just a little bit longer And I'm going to actually move it up so it just fits a little bit better down here at the bottom. And that is I think that's going to be good. Okay, let's go ahead and delete the black layer and delete any other layers that we don't need. So we're ready to save this off as a PNG and animate it in Unity. You guys have made it so far in working on your background. It's going to be really cool, and it's going to be really cool to see it work on our phones, because then we can put panels and buttons in front of it and have this cool background in the background. It's going to be awesome. All right, I'm going to save this off as a PNG and then drag it into a new Unity project. Okay, I have a new Unity window project open, and there's a couple things I've changed already. I've added these 2 folders, and my main camera here is not a skybox. It's a solid color. I selected main camera, solid color, and then I chose black. You can change whatever color you want, but for now, that's the color I'm using. Black. And then we can go ahead and drag in our image from, Photoshop that we just worked on. It's going to be saved off as a PNG. We want to drag in the PNG file into our sprites folder. Give it some time to think. Let's click on it. Go to this default box, this texture type, and we want to do sprite parentheses 2D UI. And then we can hit apply. Now, one thing you want to remember is when we're doing 2D sprites that are just a solid color, we want to bring them in white so we can change them to whatever color we want to in Unity. Okay, let's go ahead and add a canvas in the hierarchy. We can do that by right-clicking in this window right here and hitting UI and selecting image. Okay, let's zero out this transform, so that our image is in the center of our canvas. Then let's change some of the properties on our canvas. And we're going to want to go to the canvas scaler and make sure instead of constant pixel size, we want scale with screen size. This helps so that if you throw this onto an iPhone or an iPad, it should scale to that screen size, and it won't leave it small and tiny and have a weird, have it not work very well. Okay. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and change this image size to 1500 and 1500 in the height. And then for the Y position, no, we want to keep Y position 0. Let's go ahead and open up this little arrow down here for the image that we dragged in. Drag our sprite into the sprite area. And there we go. We have our words and icons in the background on this. We're going to want to do a couple things before we get to animating it. Let's actually rename this to icon BG for background. And then let's duplicate it by hitting Control D or right-clicking duplicate. Control D. Okay. So I don't know why we can just go ahead and zero out the position again, and then type 1500 in the Y on this first one, and on the third one type zero it out, and then type negative 1500. Okay, this gives us a nice long trail of icons and words. Let's create an empty game object so we can only just animate this one empty game object that will hold all of these. We can do that by right-clicking on the canvas, hitting create empty, and then let's rename this to icon BG holder. We're just keeping the same naming. You can, as long as you understand how you're naming it and it makes sense to other people that are working on your project, it should be fine how you name it. Okay, one thing you want to make sure before you actually drag in these icon BGs is that your empty game object the transform is set to 0, 0, 0. Okay, let's then move up. While we have the empty game object selected, we can move up all of the icon backgrounds, the icons in the background, and then we can select E and rotate this, move back to W, make sure it's in make sure the entire box is covered by these icons. Okay, we're ready to start animating. Nice job on that, guys. You guys did really well. I hope you're still following along and learning all the steps it takes to create a seamless background animation for your backgrounds. It's going to be great. Okay, let's open up the animation window. You can select window up here, hit animation or Control 6. Then we want to make sure our icon BG holder is selected, and we can hit create. We can then name this along the same naming context that we've been having, and we can say icon BG mover scrolling. We can either do BG scrolling animation or moving animation. Sure, whatever. We don't even have to put animation on there because we will know it's an animation. Okay, let's hit save after you name it. All right, let's hit add property. Then go to rect transform and let's add the position. Okay, we can go ahead and hit, well, we haven't moved it yet, but let's go all the way to the end here and move this down while we have the animations running. We can move this down or to the top. So our canvas is now looking at the top of all of these icon background things. Okay, I think we're good. Now if we hit play, it's going to be really fast and really jumpy. We still have a couple steps to fix that. Let's exit out of the animation, or like hit play again to unplay it. And then let's change the sample size. I'm going to change mine to like 5. Okay, that's quite a bit smoother, but as you can see, it still jumps and then it lerps a bit. It like slows down, and we don't want that to happen. So let's hit the play button one more time to stop the animation. And let's actually go to this curves down here, and let's straighten out all these lines. We can select them and make sure to say clamped auto or flat, whichever one you like, and just drag that up and make this curve flat. Okay, we then want to do it with this red line. Okay, let's hit play one more time and see what we did. So it does take a little while to get to the end of the row, but we're seeing if the speed slows down at all or if it jumps. So as you noticed, it still jumps quite a bit over in this game view. But that is going to be easy to fix, and let's show you how to do that right now. Alright, I'm going to hit play up here and then play again to not have it be in play or the animation. And then I'm actually going to duplicate this icon BG holder, hit Control D, and then I'm going to remove the animation component. So I just click this gear menu over here and then remove component. And okay, we then have a spot to, let's go back to our animation window. While we have the icon BG holder, we go and click to the end of our animation, and then we look at where our other placeholder is. You can see that we're off by a little bit. So how we fix that is we can zoom up on our game scene. We can zoom up on our moving screen, and then we want to just match these up as close as possible. Just move them until they match. Again, we are moving the entire holder, not just one, we're moving all 3. Okay, so as you notice, my game scene's a little bit pixelated, so I can just actually close this tab, hit component window, or go to window and select game scene again. and drag that back up. Maybe it's just the fact that I'm so zoomed in. Okay, we're getting really close. I believe that's right on. I don't think it's going to be noticeable if we are off by any farther than that. So then we can go ahead and delete the placeholder that we were matching up with. We can zoom out of the game scene, and then we can hit play again. And let's see what we got. Okay, pay really close attention to the game view. We want to see when this reaches the end, we want to see if it jumps at all. We want it to be really crisp and clean. And did you see a jump at all? I saw jump over here, but not in my game scene. So I believe that that is going to be good enough. And we're ready to start building it for our phone. So awesome job, guys. I hope you're still following along, because we can now put this on our phone and see our background scroll. Okay, a couple of things before we do that. Let's go ahead into our icon holder, open it up, and we could select the middle one. And we can change the color, and let's show you what kind of effect that has when we hit play again. Cool, so our background words change, our background icons and words change back from white to red, back to white to red. I don't know, that's pretty neat effect, but I'm actually probably just going to leave it all. Let me see if I can get that changed back to white. I'm probably actually going to move them all to be you can move them all to be about the same color. I want it to be, I want it to be a little bit darker and a little bit more faded out. Okay, we can just then select in here, copy paste this. One more to go. Select in here and paste. Control C and Control V to paste. Okay, let's start and alright, let's put this on our phone. I hope you guys are enjoying this, because we just made a seamless animation that can loop on forever. That is pretty good stuff. Let's go ahead and get this. Let's go to our preferences first. Select Edit, Preferences, and we're going to want to go to External Tools. So if you haven't ever built for your phone, you're going to have to pay really close attention here. You're going to need an SDK and a JDK if you haven't downloaded those yet. It's really easy when you come to this external tools. You can go ahead over here, hit download, and it will take you to the page where you need to download the SDK or JDK. Just make sure you are downloading the SDK and not like Android Studios. You can download Android Studios if you want, but you need the SDK file to specifically go in that spot. So you can select download options, and depending on if you're a Windows or a Mac, you want this is so right here it's saying if you do not need Android Studio, you can download the basic Android command line tools below. And I think, depending on what computer desktop you're using, if it's Windows or Mac or Linux, you'll want to pick one of those. Let's go over to show you the Java JDK. You'll want to browse or download that. But once you download these, you want to remember where they download to, because then you're going to need to go in, hit select browse, and find where you downloaded these files to. So let's go ahead and show you where to download the JDK. It's right here. It's a bit easier to find in the Java JDK. You go over to download, and then you'll probably want to pick one of these depending on, again, what your iOS is. If it's a Windows, Linux, or Mac, any of those, again, you're going to need these spots filled and have it look something like that, because that's where you've stored those files that you downloaded. Okay, sorry about emphasizing that. That is a very important part because it's not going to let you build and run this on your phone if you don't have those parts. Okay, let's hit File and let's go to Build Settings. This opens up this window like this. We're going to want to go to Player Settings and make sure that your bundle identifier is changed. You can change it to your own company name or what you want your company name to be, and then you can name your application, and right now I'm naming it Background Test. So since I'm only practicing to see what it looks like on the phone, I'm going ahead and selecting Develop, Build, and a bunch of these don't really matter. If you're gonna put this on Google Play and all that stuff, you will want to have a correct business name and a good application name. But for now, it doesn't really matter because we're in development build. So make sure to get that bundle identifier fixed, because if you don't fix it, it's going to ask you to change the bundle identifier. And again, you do that in player settings. You select player settings right here. Okay, let's build this already. Let's hit build and let's name it. I've already built it once before, but I'm going to select this and hit save, replace it, and then I'm going to go find my phone cord so I can plug it into my computer and move this APK file onto my phone and then install it on my phone. It's going to be great. I'll show you the rest. Once you're done building, it should pop up a file browser window with the name that you named it and .apk. This is the file that you want to drag to your phone, and you want to make sure you'll be able to find this file. I dragged it onto my phone. I'm going to show you the rest of the process on my phone. Okay, when you go to your files, you can hit search and then type in the name that you typed in. So I'm going to type background APK or background test, and background, that should work. Okay, then you want to go to package installer and install. It says install blocked for my phone. I go to settings, hit unknown sources right here and switch to on, and you can leave this checked so it says allow this installation only, and hit OK. Then hit install. So I've already installed this on my phone once before and it was good to go. I slowed it down a little bit, but my phone is actually not installing at the moment. That is because I noticed this yesterday. I needed to restart my phone before this would install. So if you guys are noticing that you can't install it on your phone, give your phone a restart and then it should install. So I'm just going to show you what the app looks like right now. You hit new project and there you go. Info Gamers going up from the top right to the bottom left, and it's looking really good. If we put a bunch of buttons and panels on this, it would be like really subtle in the background that these were moving, that the icons were moving, and it is a bit fast, but I did slow it down in the updated version. I would just need to restart my phone to get it to work. So, time to wrap this up. Awesome job sticking to the end, guys. You guys did amazing. I hope you guys were able to put it on your phone. Let me know in the comments below if you guys were able to follow along and learn how to do this seamless animation, this background image animation from Plants vs. Zombies Heroes. Awesome job, guys. There's, if you were able to get it on your phone, there's only a couple more steps, to take before you can actually get it onto the market. So awesome job again following along. Let me know how it went in the comments. Please leave a like and subscribe, and always share this with your friends, guys. It's better to build games with friends. It's so awesome building games with my brother and Charlie. It's amazing. So, alright, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks again for watching, and please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Woohoo!